You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Happy holidays, I guess?
Hello, Matt Elliott here.
Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Be sure to watch
Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV
for all the latest Leicester City news and information.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels.
for the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football.
Come on, you foxes!
It's the Leicester Till I Die Premier League Prediction Show with Chris, Brad, and regular special guest, ex-Leicester City player Steve Lynex.
Like and subscribe now.
Right, Chris. All right there. All right at the back. How are you doing? How the devil are you? Got you in the mood? Well, I tell you, if watching Watford at the weekend did not get you in the Christmas spirit, I think it was snowing. Either that or Joe Hart had forgot to bring his head and shoulders.
Watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favourite podcast platform or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Sorry, Joe, if you're watching. How the devil are you? By the way, just to let you know that we're about to launch a line of Leicester Till I Die leisure wear. And you're going to have a choice, because on some of the things it's going to say Leicester Till I Die, but you're also going to have a few things that will say, how the devil are you on them? I might have to get a couple of those, I think. Anyway, for those of you of a certain age...
Leicester City FC on this day in history with Leicester Till I Die TV.
Who is your biggest rival? For me, it always has been Coventry. I don't know if that's because I actually worked with somebody from Coventry or the fact that it was the closest club, but for a while, we used to be in the same division. I can't believe this when I did check in the Bible that is Leicester City on this day in history. You always have to check the cover, make sure I've not picked up the Kama Sutra. But we had to, on this day, 29th of November, 1997, what were you doing? Well, Leicester City, for Leicester City, the wait for a win at Coventry City came to an end for Leicester and their supporters. The first win at the Sky Blues home for 22 years came thanks to an opening goal from Graham Fenton and Matt Elliott. We're going to have to ask Steve what he was doing during that time if we weren't winning. What was going on? I can't believe that it took 22 years for us to beat Coventry at their place. Whatever has happened to them? It's Leicester Till I Die, and this is the main event, which is the prediction show.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the main event of the evening. 60 minutes of football fun and banter with Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV. Are you ready? Let's get ready to rumble.
Steve, what were you doing? 22 years. While you were there, we never won at Coventry.
It's just one of those things, I think. Gordon Mill didn't want us to beat Coventry.
Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one in fairness. Did you ever see? I always thought of Coventry as our biggest rivals, or was that just me?
To be fair, I think the Forest game was purely for the atmosphere at the ground.
Yes.
I'm not. When it was the old Highfield Road, it was great, because the crowd was on top of you, and it was a good atmosphere there. But I always felt that, it was more tense and more feeling against Forest.
Forest, right?
Yeah.
Well, talking about the weekend, whether it was snow or Trail Hart forgetting his head and shoulders, there's only one person amongst the three of us that would actually need head and shoulders, and that's Brad. Because between me and Steve, we wouldn't need any head and shoulders. Brad, good evening, sir. Look, I do actually have a photograph of you, Brad, earlier, and a little video clip I took. This is Brad earlier.
It's time for the smug face.
Don't know what you're talking about, mate. I mean, you say the weather outside was a bit chilly, but it was raining points my end, mate, for the predictions league. It's good to be back, guys. It's really good to be back because I was getting all sevens on the reels, mate. Not an endorsement. Please don't gamble. But yeah, I hit the jackpot with the week predictions on all formats, didn't I, mate? Was it 15 points on the one ball I made up? And extended a bit of a lead, I think, in this one, guys. I'm just being smug until I go and get no predictions right this weekend. Well,
1 week, he has one good week in 14, Steve. He's been Norwich City up until this point,
and we're paying for it.
Yeah,
I've been sat at top of this league like Man City are most seasons and teams like that. So City pretty at the top coming into Christmas.
Rich, good evening. How the devil are you? Dorco said he hates Christmas. Ho ho ho. Yes. Are you a bit like Father Christmas? Are you? You just come once a year. There we go. That's my joke for the week.
Oh, there's that joke ruiner for the week, isn't it? That's it. That's a show joke.
That shows the standard that we're at. Right, let's get straight into this. This was how we actually did last week, guys. Brad, you got 5 points. Hate you.
Yeah, I did. if it weren't for Spurs and the Burnley game, it might have been a bit of a better one or a bit of a closer one, because that one I think was one we didn't agree on either, was it? So
no.
But
I got 3. And Steve, I mean, do you remember when Steve went for a Norwich win and got it right? And it was like, Steve knew what he was doing and what have you. And that's long, didn't it, Steve?
Miracle.
No. But no, Arsenal won. None of us went for that. Brad, you got the Villa win, in fairness, and we all got the Liverpool win. I think we could see that coming, couldn't we? And none of us went for the exciting 0-0 that Norwich and Wolves was. Brighton, you got the Brighton Leeds draw. You also got the Brentford win. None of it, it was postponed, was Burnley, so the points will be added onto that as and when they play, but we'll keep your predictions there for when that happens. Brad, you went for a Leicester win, and you got it, mate. You nailed it. Man City.
Well, thank God.
Yeah, you then let yourself down predicting West Ham, and none of us got the 1-1 for Man United. Maybe we should keep Michael Carrick at the wheel, eh?
Yeah, maybe. Might be a bit easy to do this thing with him in there.
Talking about keeping Michael Carrick at the wheel.
Hi, Maisie.
Good evening, Maisie. How are you doing? They've got their new. Is it me, Steve? I mean, Man United, and in respect to Man United, they are a huge club. We know they are. They're massive all around the world, and yet here they are sacking one of the most famous players they've ever had, replacing him with a temporary manager who has never managed an egg and spoon race, let alone, Premier League football. They're getting an interim manager in until they can appoint somebody at the end of the season. I mean, this is Man United. Surely, upon God, managers should be fighting their way to get to the door for that job.
I think over the last few years and the way the Man United owners and board have been, I think that's it's scaring a few of the managers off. I think they boo-booed again now. I think the only reason Carrick's not carrying on is because it's his backroom staff. It's the same backroom staff that he had when Ollie was there. So yes. I think they felt that it was going to be the same even with Carrick there. But it was good to watch. There's a bit more organisation, a bit more purpose. They're not there yet. But he left Ronaldo out. He's not he's not afraid to play his own style, and I think it would have been okay for him to stay till the end of the season.
Ragnarok, is it, Brad? I don't know if I've got that pronunciation right. Maisie or Rich will, no doubt, tell me. Do you reckon he was communicating via the old earpiece during that game?
There's only two people that know that, and that's Carrick and Ragnarok. I'm going to butcher his name because it just sounds like, every time I see it, I know it's not, but it sounds like Ragnarok, which is a Thor movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's going to be the away kit next season. They're going to turn up with red capes.
No, but I think this is a move that kind of sort of points towards something that Steve touched on in maybe sorting out something with the backroom staff. From the likes of Maisie and Rich on their channel, or as long as the channels that them guys go on as well. Because he fascinated me. I'd never really actually heard too much of him, and I was wondering where he'd come out of. It was a bit of a left field name, and it turns out the guy is very, very sought after for what he can do at a club, and it is most definitely a move where he will become, I believe they're looking at director of football was what they were talking about. So this is definitely a move that is very good for Manchester United fans. Are really happy with it. So I'm not judging the way they've taken the steps to replace the manager. Clearly, the manager in question is either a manager who's done this before, left mid-season, it's left a sour taste and he's learnt his lesson, or it's a manager that has a lot of respect for the club that he's at and has turned around and said, look, they've told me they won't stand in the way, but they've asked me to finish the season. I will become your manager, but you're waiting for the season. If I'm truly who you want, you wait to the end. And this is a clever move from Manchester United because it's been 50-50. Some people are saying you've got to give a bit of credit to Carrick. Others say, like Steve said, he was essentially Ollie's backroom staff, so it must have been something else. Or was it the fact that they weren't able to express their ideas to Ollie and he wasn't taking it in? Again, only the people involved know. But I see this as apparently from United's perspective, fans, and obviously they're more knowledgeable of these sort of people than we're going to be because it's not our club. But the grasp I'm getting is he's actually very good, something that they were more excited about instead of maybe seeing an interim come in and then somebody like Carrick getting the job as an interim and making the same mistake. This is very clearly to United fans a future move. This is like thinking about where he goes afterwards, and that will be into their back room in the board sense, by the sounds of things.
That's the end of the show. Thanks for joining us, Steve. We've run out of time.
I just killed that off tonight. Just a whole segment from knowledge on that. So yeah,
one day I will get a shortened answer from Brad, but who knows? Who knows? That's my Christmas present, I believe. Right, let us see if Brad can be as good this week, Steve, as he was last week. We're going to start off with the first game, which is they're all couple of games tomorrow night, which is why we're having to fit it in like we are this week. They're all on Prime Video, all the games this week. So if you've got Amazon Prime, your quid's in. Newcastle are holding are hosting Norwich. A relegation battle, Steve.
Yeah, and I think the way Newcastle are playing, I think they're going to get it. They're going to beat Norwich. I think they're starting to get a bit of momentum. They just need a goal scorer, and you'll see them climb. It'll be the same as Villa. They'll get 2 or 3 good results, I think, soon Newcastle, and they'll start to move a bit.
Yeah, so Newcastle are bottom. They lost to Arsenal 2-0. Norwich, last one out, they got the draw with Wolves. But you're going for the Newcastle home win.
Yep.
Yeah, Steve. Okay, let's hope that this works. Brad, which way do you see this going? You're a big Norwich fan.
Yeah, but Steve's answered the same question, but both teams have the same issue. They struggle in front of goal. They both have improved on the performance of things. I know they got Arsenal, Newcastle, but Arsenal showing obviously that trouncing was a bit of a blip because they've battled back strong. But I still don't think it's been enough time for him to do anything there. He couldn't do anything there for his first week of appointment, Eddie Howe. But I think this will be one of them games where you get a bit of an effect of what Eddie Howe's been able to do in the Liberty space. And I just see a 1-1 draw or something like that. So I'm going for a draw for this one. I think it'll be a draw.
I must admit, I've got new tactics this week that actually, having done my long ball predictions before I do the show, I'm going to stick with my long ball predictions for this and see how that works out for me. Guys, if you're watching and you want to join in, stick your predictions down the side and we'll shout them out for you. I must admit, we've been joking about Norwich all season. Dean Smith's come in. I just feel, for me, he may just have. I don't know if Eddie's got what it takes at this point. You know, he must be really happy that it's Norwich coming up. But you know, he's had 2 games in charge. He's drawn and lost. But I can see this being a draw as well. I have to agree with you, Brad. As much as it pains me, I have to say that I can see this being maybe a 0-0, something like that. I think probably one that will not last long in the memory. Steve, Leeds host Palace. Steve. Leeds have got they drew last time 0-0 last time out with Brighton, and Palace. I've lost Palace. There we are. They lost to Aston Villa.
Yeah, I think when Leeds get back to full strength, they'll start to go. But I still think they'll be strong enough to beat Palace. I think Palace have had their nice little run underneath the new manager. And I think they're going to be brought back down to earth a bit. Right. I can see Leeds winning at home.
Brad?
Keep expecting Leeds to step up and hit that form and get a stride, and they keep stuttering, keep labouring to points, and they keep not winning games. And Palace were probably unfortunate in the sense that they came up against a very buoyed Aston Villa, and you know, Villa got fortunate in the sense that red card was then downgraded to a yellow because that was only 1-0 at the point, and you would have favoured Palace to be able to have created at least a couple of chances to have nicked a point against 10 men. And they got a goal late on. I know it was a consolation. It was a matter of switching off, but that just shows that Palace were willing to try and go for it to the end, even if it wasn't their best performance. So I think, I'm sorry, but everybody keeps expecting Leeds to kickstart, and I just don't see it. I'm going for a Palace win.
There we go then, Brad. Do you know what scares me most of all here, Steve, is that I'm actually finding myself agreeing a lot with Brad, and you don't know how much that hurts me.
It's the only show, mate. It's all right. You can deal with it.
I know what you're saying about Leeds. I mean, they've only lost 1 in 5, and that was to Tottenham. Yes, you say you keep expecting them to kick on, but they're still down there in 7th place. They're only 1 win off the bottom 3. Palace, they have kind of slowed down a little bit, but they've still got a couple of wins. You know, they beat Man City, let's not forget, and Wolves, and got draws with Burnley. Maybe they should have won that. And of course, they only drew with Newcastle. So they are really up and down at the moment. They seem to be seem to be like Leicester, beating the big boys and struggling against those down the bottom. But I do, as I say, I am sticking with what I have predicted in the long ball, and I am going for a Crystal Palace win. I agree with you there, Brad. Now, Steve, let me tell you something. The last time that Leicester visited Southampton on a midweek night game in the winter, I went and we won 9-0. Now, this is a midweek night game. I am going. Do you think it could be 10-0 this time?
Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
No, unfortunately, I think you're right.
Love Leicester to bits. Like I said, I went to see him on Thursday.
Oh, you did? How was that? Did you have a good time?
Oh, yeah, great. I was right next to the Polish fans. It was great watching them in the second half. All the flares and the fights and the police. But first 15 minutes, Leicester started off well. And then they went back to their old ways and then the game got really drabby and dragging. And I thought on Saturday, it was completely different. You could see from the start that they wanted to go out with the intent. And I hope they go out again against Southampton like that. But I've got to reverse psychology again. Southampton need to win, so I'm going for a Southampton win.
You're going for Southampton, right. Let's just put that up there. You like your home fixtures this week, Steve?
I do, yes. Yeah.
You do. Brad, am I wasting my time going?
Yeah, mate. Let's face it. You're going to get soaked on, and it's going to be so difficult for you because I'm going to get a better view of the 6 or 7 goals that Leicester score, and you're going to have to be doing that all game. That's why you shouldn't go, mate, because you sat right at the front, aren't you? You get drenched.
I've sat towards about 2 or 3 rows, but I believe I could be wrong.
But no, honestly, look, Southampton have been great this season. Again, early season predictions and I'm sorry to beat a dead horse on that one, but Southampton lost a lot of key players. Well, we got four,
and a couple to us as well that weren't.
Yeah, and we brought a 2. We brought a 2. And credit where it is. They've had some players come through doing really well, and there's a lot of big clubs raving about a couple of Southampton players. I can't remember Livramento, I think it is. Quality right back they've got. Is it Gallagher as well who got called up for the England squad? I know it was due to an injury, but he still got a call up.
Yeah,
I believe that's Southampton, and they can surprise you. But Leicester, right? We probably got a bit, and rightfully so, after the last few weeks, a bit carried away with Leicester's more impressive performance that kind of was even more stable than against Warsaw in midweek. To a degree, I know you could probably really cut them some slack for some stray passes when Hull decided to freeze over and grace the King Power with its snow. But the lads did a really good job, and we have to take advantage of Southampton in a slump. So it's an away win. I gist and joke about the 6 and 7. I would take a 1-0 win. God, I'd take a clean sheet, so I'd definitely take a 1-0 win. But we have to make sure this is the kickoff for the season now and punish a out of form Southampton.
Right. Bradley, what are you doing to me?
Who's Bradley?
Yeah, I'm calling that just to get at you. Southampton, yeah, they lost, as we know, 4-0 to Liverpool at the weekend. They'd lost to Norwich. I mean, that's a bad result for Southampton. We've won. They beat Aston Villa and they'd beaten Watford and drew with Burnley before that. So they're down in 15th, but they're only 4 points behind us. Like you said, we suddenly hit a bit of form, Leicester. And not only have we hit a bit of form, I also think we've actually hit the performances as well. You know, the performances against Leicester. And I know they'd lost 7 or 8 on the trot in their league and were 1 off the bottom. And, you know, but we beat them. And we did enough to beat them quite easily. And Watford, you know, it was at 1-1. We could have let it go to pieces. We didn't. And we played despite the weather. I am worried about false dawns. I always say this. As you know, I'm doing my BBC page tomorrow on the BBC website on the Leicester City homepage, and I've got there that. And I said, I'll just whisper this, Leicester are back. I'm whispering it more than shouting it. But yes, this has got to be one that if we are going to have anything from this season, these are the games we should be winning. And for a 3rd game running, Brad, I'm agreeing with you.
Top man.
I know it's scary. It's scary. Watford, well, we saw them at the weekend, Steve. 1 loss, 1 lost. You come to think the games they've won, Watford, 4-1 against Man United. Although, could you kind of maybe that wasn't such a big win as everybody was saying it was with what's happening at United. Beat Everton 5-2, but you know they lost to Southampton, lost to Arsenal, both 1-0, and of course they lost to us at the weekend. They're not going to get anything against the Chelsea side, are they?
I can see this one being a draw.
Right.
Purely because Watford are going to be up for the game again because it's the top of the league.
Yeah.
But I saw Chelsea stutter a bit on the weekend. They're not they are creating the chances, but they're not putting them away. And I think that's going to cost them.
That may be because they've only got Tim Werner up front at the moment, and he couldn't hit a bond. Or
if they keep playing him, I can't see him staying top of the league.
No,
because no disrespect to the player, but I've watched him now for a year and a half, and he's not getting any better.
No,
not getting any better at all.
He was great in Germany when they were showing his stats at the weekend. He was amazing. It's a bit like when what was he called? Went from Liverpool to Chelsea. Oh, who was it? Blonde guy. Anyway, he was knocking him in for Torres, knocking him in for fun at Liverpool. Went to Chelsea, couldn't score for toffee. Chelsea, Steve. I mean, were Man United up for this probably more than Chelsea were because of everything that's been going on?
I think Man United set up the right way against Chelsea. I think they blocked off the areas and they closed them down when they were in the areas they needed to. Yeah. And I couldn't, Chelsea kept playing the way they've been playing over the last few weeks. And because that happened on Saturday, it looked like they hadn't got a plan B. They just carrying on. So they were playing into Man United's hands, I think, there. So I think it'll be another hard one for them again against Watford.
Yeah. Brad, your thoughts on this one?
I think bit of discredit to Watford because Manchester United aren't in the greatest form, but to go to Old Trafford and win is still no mean feat, regardless of United's form. That can't be helped. Going to Old Trafford is always a hard ground to go. But it seems very, very clear to a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure Watford fans were expectant of it, that Ranieri is very much a case of sod it. I know it worked for me a few years back. I'm going to see what level this Watford team's at for as long as I can. And he's got them playing football that suits certain teams' style of play. And unfortunately, while Steve made a lot of great points about the way Manchester United handled Chelsea, I just don't see a Watford team under Ranieri playing the style that's going to be able to do enough to do anything. I think it'll be an edgy game for Chelsea because the players just coming back, the form, like you've mentioned, of Timo. But I think Chelsea get the job done here. And if Ranieri is not careful with them owners that, change their mind more than the British weather at times, another 5-6-0 could be ticket number 742, please.
Yes.
That's what worries me. So, but yeah, it's going to be a Chelsea win. If they're winning the league this season, realistically, they need to bounce back for a win after a tough draw against United.
Yeah. So, but you're going for the Chelsea win.
Yeah.
Guess what I'm going for, Brad?
Chelsea win.
Yes. Are you looking at my
I'll tell you what, I'm not going to predict it. You what, mate?
Are you looking at my results there on the long ball and getting in before me?
I've got the screen there. I did that. When you asked me to fix that problem for it months ago, I just made sure it said Christmas.
But we've got two players this week, Steve. You've got S for Steve and BC for Before Christ. But Steve, West Ham hosting Brighton. West Ham surprisingly lost the last couple. But they were up against Man City at the weekend. They lost to Wolves the week before. That followed 3 wins, including the one against Liverpool, Villa, and West Ham United. Tottenham, sorry. Brighton, Brad's second favourite team. Still up there in ninth, so still not doing too bad, but they've not won in 5. They've managed 3 draws and 2 losses. Are they going to change things around against West Ham?
No. I think West Ham are going to win this one. I think, like I said, West Ham have got to put a halt to their slide. I think if it was the other way around and Brighton was home, then you might have thought, Brighton was going to do it. But I think West Ham will edge this one.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go before Brad here, and I'm going to confuse him. I'm going to go first and see if he agrees with me. I think if it was at Brighton, it would be a different kettle of fish. West Ham, they aren't just off the boil at the moment. They're through in Europe, and well done to them, and congratulations for that. And I'm pleased to see that somebody, well, it's not us, but at least somebody other than sort of the big 6 are up there in those top 6 positions. So well done to them all. But you see, to me, Graham Potter, and Brad will tell you, the master technician that he is, I just think we'll have too much this weekend. You right there, Brad? I knew he was going to do that. But anyway, I am going to be going for a draw here. I just think the way... Oops, I put Brad in there. But the way that it's going, I can see Brighton need to get something. If it was at Brighton, I could possibly see them nicking the win. But I think it's going to be a draw, a 1-1 draw. I've gone for this one. Terry, good evening. How the devil are you, sir? And Doug, welcome along. The Dugout Football Channel. Get over there and check him out. There've been 5 draws between the two recently. Sums it up. Is it going to be another draw, like I said, Brad? Or which way are you going with this one?
Do me a favour, Chris. If you've got them in front of you, or you know them with your little study notes you like to do for each game. Very well done. But what's Brighton's last 3 results been?
Brighton's last 3 results have been 0-0 with Leeds, lost 2-0 to Villa. That was Gerrard's arrival, of course, and a draw with Newcastle 1-1.
Yeah, the real Brighton's back. They can't score in a ball. So
they got 2 against Liverpool the week before that. If you want to go back one more
that's when the fraud had the last bit of luck. Now the real Brighton's back. The team that can't score in front of a goal, who can hit the post, the crossbar, and miss every single chance that's gifted to them on the plate. The Power Express is coming to a halt, and it's going to continue. West Ham are having a clean, easy afternoon. 3-0 West Ham. Get my name in the West Ham part, mate. Brighton ain't winning this. This is where Brighton starts to go down.
Oh dear. All right, so you're going for a Brighton win then, are you?
No, mate. West Ham all the way. Up the Moises army. Come on, you hammers.
But you know Graham Potter he knows what he's doing, Graham Potter. In Graham we trust. And
yeah, he's a wizard using a stick for a wand, mate.
You won't be saying that when he's sat in the Leicester dugout in next season. Steve.
No, I'll be getting him a wand from Harry Potter shop so he can use it properly.
Depending where you wanted to put it.
Well, that's for a different show.
Burnley, Steve, they lost to Man City. They drew with Southampton. They beat Brentford. They've drawn against Chelsea, which was a good result for them. And, of course, they were kind of unlucky against Palace. It was 3-3. They've been hitting the goals, but they're just not getting the points. They've got 9 points still sat there in 18th place. Wolves, one of my surprise packages this season. They've got a draw. They beat Everton. They lost to Palace. They beat West Ham, and they drew. Just got a 0-0 with Norwich at the weekend. Which way do you see this one going?
This one I can see is going as a draw. I think Burnley, a good, organised, strong team. Wolves, they're a bit at the moment. They're a bit one way, and if they don't score on the one way they're playing, I think they struggle for ideas. So I can see Burnley holding out here, and it can be a draw.
Doug is going for a big Wolves win there. Had this been at Burnley, I probably would have gone for the draw, to be honest with you. I just think, unfortunately, I do think this is the season when Burnley could go down. And this is going to be tough for them against Wolves. I'm actually going for a 1-0 to Wolves. I've gone for a Wolves win on this one. Are you going to split it down the middle and go for the Burnley win, Brad?
You know what? I am. I'm going to make this a complete set of 3 because Burnley have got, and for all their efforts to try, no fault for Burnley to try and just quickly, something I noticed over the last few days. I just want to give a bit of a shout out to your brother from another mother, Dan, who, we say a lot of great things about our owners, and apparently a few murmurs of the Burnley section weren't too happy with their owners. Well, there was pictures out there of him, and people say publicity stunt because you can't please everybody and they want it to be miserable. But he was out there with his sleeve rolled up trying to get the snow off the shovel. So it was nice and refreshing to see owners doing similar things with their clubs like ours do. And honestly, I think that Wolves played at the weekend. They're playing midweek, and I know this is the same for pretty much everybody but bar Spurs and Tottenham, but that can have an effect, especially when you're looking ahead of fixtures, because you do that when the fixture list gets cramped and you're not the strongest squad in terms of talent. Maybe you've got the depth, but the depth is maybe a la Leicester a season or two ago in terms of quality. And I think Burnley, this benefits them more. Honestly do. Because Wolves may have one eye at the weekend thinking if we can get a draw here or try and go out for the win here, because I don't know who they've got at the weekend, but it's a difficult one because this is what clubs are already starting to contend with, and Burnley kind of get a little reprieve as it is. So I'm actually backing Burnley, mate. I think they'll have it about them to nick this at Molyneux.
Well, that's the first one of the evening where we've split straight down the middle, and we'll have a very, very quick 10-second break. We'll be back. Get tomorrow, bbc.co.uk/Leicester City, the Leicester City homepage on the BBC, Tuesday talking point. I have something to say about Leicester's turnaround, so check it out tomorrow. I think it goes up about lunchtime. Steve, we are now coming on still the last. Oh no, we still got 2 more tomorrow on Wednesday night. Aston Villa with Mr. Gerrard turning things around by the look of it. Although I didn't think there was particularly much wrong with Villa before, to be honest with you. Up against Man City. Man City only lost one in the last 5, which was the Palace game. Aston Villa, they're actually, I can't find Aston Villa. There they are. 13th, lost 3, but won 2 since the Messiah has walked through their front doors. Which way do you see this one going?
This one, in fairness, I can't see Villa beating Man City, but I think he's going to do a job on Man City, and I think he's going to get a draw out of this. I think he's going to stifle their midfield and their high break.
Yes,
I think I think it'll be a dull draw, this one.
Do you think? I mean, I'm sure that he's got a future. We know he can do a good job. I mean, I know it was only Rangers, but he did knock Celtic a bit out of the park. But do you think Villa were a bit quick to get rid of Dean Smith?
No, I think Dean Smith had took Villa as far as he could go, and I think Dean Smith relied too much on Grealish, and he didn't really strengthen or make the team play any better. But I think now Gerrard's come in, he's lifted every one of the team, and I think they're playing another 10, 15, 20% to what they were when Dean Smith was there. So the freshness of that, I think they're going to be hard to beat for a bit.
And do you think as well, Steve, that with Steven Gerrard, enjoy him while he's there, Villa fans, because it is a stepping stone to Liverpool?
A lot of people say that, but you can't really put it in that in that phrase. Really, I think he's got to be in the game for a few more years yet, before he can start thinking and looking at the big boys. But football's football. I think if he went to Liverpool, he'd fall into the Liverpool way, if you know what I mean, and he wouldn't be able to better what Klopp's doing now.
No,
but I think if he can either take his philosophy and Liverpool's philosophy to another club, I think you'll see, them prosper, and I think you'll see them, start to look like a Liverpool, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Is this where the new manager bounce ends, Brad?
No, I don't think it does. I don't think Villa are going to get anything from this game, but I think you're going to see a very hearted performance from Aston Villa. They normally do fancy the chances against Man City. I've seen them only through highlights, but I've seen them play Man City, and I don't know why, my memory just seems to do that they tend to score a few goals against them. They've probably got some decent results against them, in all truth. That's probably why I'm thinking that. But I think this will be one of them end-to-end games that, again, if you're going to win the title, Man City have to beat these teams. I said it about Chelsea and I say it about these, but I think this will be, maybe it's just because it's happening with Leicester at the moment, but I think this will be something daft, like a 3-2 Man City or something like that. But Man City are going to win this, but it's not going to take too much shine off the new manager effect. I think it'll be a game where Villa fans will be going, well, there was a lot of positives from that. Yes, we conceded 4 or 3 or whatever, but we did this and this right. Sometimes when we've done that, when we've felt a bit naffed out of a result. So, it continues, but they're losing.
I'm going to have to stop you going first because I'm agreeing with you again. I think he is going to go places. I think he is a promising new young manager. I am a bit worried that maybe we're seeing a bit of a Frank Lampard effect here, in the fact of seems to do well when he starts, but how long that will last for. And we have got, like I say, he in fairness, Gerrard's gone into Villa where Frank Lampard went into Chelsea. So you got a bit of difference with squads and what have you. But I can see Man City. I've got it as a 2-1 sneaky win to Man City, to be honest with you. I think Pep will Pep will not want to lose this one to the new kid on the block, and he'll get the job done. Steve, it's the Merseyside derby on Wednesday night. Liverpool sat there in third, only lost 1 in 5. Everton in free fall at the moment, won 1 in 5, lost 4 in 5.
I think this could be the nail in the coffin for the old gaffer, because I think Liverpool are unstoppable at the moment. I think they're getting goals from all over the pitch, and I think Everton are struggling really, really bad to score goals again. So I can see Liverpool steaming this one, three or 4 goals.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. I mean, Everton just can't seem to beat Liverpool that often in Merseyside derbies. Even when it's at Goodison Park. I'm surprised Rafa's not done better there. I thought he was going to be a good decision for them, a good choice for them. And I thought he was going to go in and take, half decent squad that he was left with, and then of course he bought Gray. But I've got to agree with you on that one, Steve. I think it's going to be Liverpool all the way, which should please Doug. There we go, Doug. Please you. You're a Liverpool fan, mate. Got you down for a win. Brad, how do you see this one going?
I know I see it going because I've already done my long ball for it. I see it going Liverpool's way, but do you remember when Claude Puel didn't win for about 7 or 8 games? And then out of absolutely nowhere, we beat Man City and Chelsea back to back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I should not give in to the giddy heights of me lack of air from the weekend and be smart and go for the obvious one. But I just feel a Rafa Fax moment. I feel like when all looks lost for Rafa, or a manager of Rafa Benitez's caliber, and he's got backs up against the wall, he'll go and pull something out the bag here. And I'm going to be real big and brave and go for an absolute Rafa shock of an Everton win. Because it's the only way you're derailing Liverpool. Because I agree with you completely. You're on fire, they look unstoppable. It's a shock result like this. It's the only way I can see them getting derailed this season. So I might as well take the risk and go bold and believe in Rafa tactics. Facts.
Whoa. Sometimes you go for that and sometimes you get it right, but mostly you have a bit of a North Macedonia. But the last 2 games, which are on the Thursday, which are going to be Tottenham at home to Brentford, Arsenal away to Manchester United. And when we come to games like this, Steve, you seriously know what I'm going to have to play, don't you? 5 games, they've got 3 wins and 2 draws. Maybe the process is working for them, Steve. Do you see them getting anything out of a Claudio Ranieri Watford?
To be fair, your next 2 fixtures, I'm purely going to go for the 2 teams because I cannot stand Arsenal. And I cannot stand Tottenham. So, for every reason, which is personal, I'm going for a Watford win because I want Watford to win badly.
Can I please clip that and use that as a Steve? I love it. Can I please clip that out later and use that as a jingle? I'm going. I hate Arsenal. I hate Tottenham.
You can do that, mate.
Nothing if not honest, and I suppose it's as good a reason as any. You know that will always get played. Totally, like I say, forget it. Nothing about form. Nothing about who they might be signing or go. I just hate them. It's great. It's great. I think Brad's having trouble with his camera, but hopefully he'll be able to get that working again. Doug says you cannot be serious, Brad. I think he is. I think he is being serious with that one. You'll never speak to him again now. Spurs host Brentford. Like Brad said, they didn't have a game at the weekend as it was called off. Spurs struggling under Conte. There's the old saying that you can't polish a poo. Maybe Conte's finding that out. He did win against Leeds 2-1. It wasn't easy, though. And he got the draw with Everton. Brentford, meanwhile, they managed to beat Everton 1-0. And by all accounts, they totally deserved it. They drew in Newcastle before that, but they'd lost the previous 3. Maybe the bubbles burst a little bit, and they're kind of settling down to their where they might well end up, Steve.
See, my outlook on Tottenham is Tottenham have had the same squad and the same players over the last, say, 5-6 years. And I see you've had some great managers go in there, but Tottenham Hotspur, their current squad, they play for themselves. And if they don't like the manager, they won't play for the manager. And I think Conte will find that out quite quickly.
Yes.
Tottenham Hotspur are a team of posh individuals that don't care about the club, they don't care about the fans, they just care about themselves. And you can see it on the pitch. You know, you can see the mannerisms of them. And I can't see Conte getting anything out of the players they've got there. And I can't see him, going to how Conte wants to play, because they've done the same with the last 2 or 3 managers been in there, and I cannot see him changing until they have a big clear out and get rid of quite, say, 6 or 7 of the players that's in the team now. Tottenham won't get any better, and I'm going for a Brentford win again.
Well, I see totally what you mean. I think Conte, he is the right man. I think it's the first time in a long time that they've actually made a decent decision on this one. I think it's going to be next season when he's had a couple. He's obviously going to have the January transfer window coming up, but we know with that one that can be hit and miss, and players are more expensive than they normally would be. But I think next season is the season when he's going to have an effect, but they're going to have to wait for that, Spurs. But I do see Brentford are slowly maybe getting back into it. And like you say, if this was a Conte team next season at Tottenham, I think you're looking at one result. But I think, like you said, Steve, with the players they've got, he's getting a bit of a tune out of them, but the tune's not in tune, if that makes sense. But I'm gone for a 2-2. I think it'll be high scoring, but I think it's going to be a draw. I don't think Tottenham are going to get the 3 points. Welcome back, Brad. How do you see this one going?
I think Conte, to get a proper feel for that Spurs squad and really start to already chip away at them individuals that are out for themselves and not the club, we'll notice. Spurs fans will notably notice changes either on the pitch or possibly even on the bench as well. If Conte's really got his self through the door properly and feels settled. Again, I think not playing Burnley as much as it's not great when your plans get cancelled so close to the game and all the travelling. It can't be helped, obviously. It's weather as it is. But I think that only benefited Spurs. To be honest with you, I think Burnley would have fancied the chances after what happened to Spurs in midweek to have got something for it. But I think this will be like Leeds. I think they'll just about do enough to beat them, but this you may be looking at a 1-0 or a 2-1, but I've got to go for Spurs just because I think they're going to crawl over that line in some form or form because of Conte until January.
Yeah, let me get the right letters there.
Always helps, mate. Always helps.
It does. I'm not any good at it. So our second one where we're going right across the board there. The last game of the week, the midweek fixtures, Man United with Thor in charge, hosting Arsenal with one of the Teletubbies in charge, I think. But having said that, they are doing okay. Arsenal are up to 5th, so we shouldn't maybe joke. They only lost 1 in 5. That was to Liverpool, in fairness, so they didn't really get stuff that time. They beat Villa 3-1. We know they beat us 2-0. 1-0 against Watford, and obviously beat Newcastle at the weekend 2-0. Man United, actually, it will be the new manager in. Well, say the new interim manager in. Let's give him his proper title. Chelsea, they drew with 1-1, but they'd lost 2 previous to that. Although I say that was obviously under Ollie, so you can't really maybe take that. Which way are you going with this one, Steve?
This one I'm going for Man United. I think
Right.
I think the new manager will be there by name only. I think it'd be a big mistake if he tries to change things after the last couple of results, because they've got a bit of a momentum. The players seem to have gelled a bit better, and they seem to know what they're doing on the pitch now. So I think if he takes it away from what they're doing now, I think there'll be a lot of confusion, and it'll put them back 2 or 3 steps. So I think he'll be there for name only, but I think he might keep the same team that started, and I think they'll keep doing what they've done, because they haven't looked too bad. They haven't looked great, but they haven't looked as bad as they were. And you could see when they were doing the breakdown on Match of the Day that the players are starting to work together now. So I think if he comes in and tries to change the momentum of what they've gained over the last couple of games, I think they're taking 3 or 4 steps back. So I think you'll see that the manager will be there name only, and you'll go with what's gone on for the last couple of games.
Totally agree, Brad. On that analysis on Match of the Day, there was a lot of good things to say about Man United. I mean, whether he was on the earpiece to whoever it was at Manchester, I just wonder if he was in charge for that game and it was his decision to drop Ronaldo, making the point that he is going to be the boss when he comes in and like it or lump it, and making a statement. But he's going to be there in the dugout, I would imagine. So do you see this going United's way?
Sorry, can I just throw this in as well? Just what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, of course you can do. Yeah.
I think Man United do play better without Maguire. Nothing against the lad personally, but I think Man United do play better without him.
It's a point, and they've won a couple of games without him, haven't they? Maybe he's just. Is it just his form at the moment, Brad, or has Steve got a point?
It's a bit of both. They have looked better without him, but I think that's coincided with his form. We've seen it with Soyuncu this season. It's only been the last 2 or 3 games he's looked a bit more trustworthy on the ball. If we're being honest with ourselves, we've kind of got our own. Well, Manchester United have their own Johnny Evans. It's like they should have had him there all this time with Varane. Because he stabled the ship when things have been going a bit nutty at the back for Manchester United, and it's been clear with their results when he's not played due to injury or whatever reason. That obviously Varane is key to Man U's defence, but also I think they've had a little bit of a Leicester sort of thing, unlike Ollie, which, no smoke without fire, these sort of things. Brendan maybe, and we've discussed this ourselves, and I think a few of us have made this point over the last few shows, that maybe Brendan's had a bit of a team meeting, let everything be aired out, mixed it together, and that's why we've got Leicester sort of back to what we have previously enjoyed Leicester playing like. Whereas Ollie will refuse to do that. I don't think Michael Carrick, in the nicest way possible, has the knackers to drop Ronaldo. So I do believe he's already got himself in there, because McFred, as they call him, well, apparently Fred actually was Brazilian that game. He actually turned out like a half-decent Brazilian, had an absolute blinding game. Man U fans have been raving about him. Donny van der Beek, the Ollie signing that never was, has suddenly found that he can play football, and when he's given the chance to. Sancho gets his first Premiership goal. They play a completely different pace and tempo, almost Leicester-like in the changes they've made from their tempo 2 or 3 games before. They found a tempo to match the squad. Like I said, I don't think he's got the cojones to tell Ronaldo he's on the bench for this game. I think that's come from the new man, because he didn't start against Chelsea. And if that's backing up what he's just said, then he's just making sure Ronaldo knows he's not going to have Alex Ferguson to go crying to in his corner. I'm not saying Ronaldo's doing that. I'm just making the example that everybody else will make about Ronaldo and what he's probably going to be like for Man U. But yeah, I think they're riding some very good momentum. It was a very good draw against Chelsea. That was probably a game, regardless of things going on at Chelsea, where fans were expecting to win. And I'm backing Man United to continue their mini vein of form and pick up another win against Arsenal. Credit to Arsenal with their results over the last 8 or 9 games, but I just feel this is one of them where Man U continue the trend for themselves.
I did wonder if we were going to get a prediction at the end of that, but
no,
we did.
See, I like to end it and drag it out in grace and detail, mate.
It's a good job we're short, Steve, otherwise we'd be here till 2 in the morning. You know I joke, Brad, you know I joke. I don't know why. These are 2 teams that I really, really hate. A bit like you with one of them, Steve. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's not all the fans, because I know, obviously, through this, a lot of the fans, and there's some very decent fans out there. I think over the last few seasons, I think a lot of fans have maybe it's because I'm older and the younger fans don't remember before they had the Wengers and the Fergusons in, that there were just normal clubs that weren't particularly any better than anybody else. I don't know, but it's just 2 clubs that I really, whoever they play, I tend to hope that the other team wins. So I couldn't, because of that, I couldn't split them right down the middle at all, and I've gone for a draw. I've gone for a 1-1 draw for that. So, and if no other reason than I'm applying your philosophy here, Steve, and the fact that I hate them both, so I'll go for a draw. There we go. So that's the results. It's just quickly looking through there. So Newcastle, Steve thinks they'll get a win. Me and Brad think we and Brad agree for the first few, actually. Thought it was going to be a draw. Steve's gone for 3 homers, to be honest with you. Leeds to beat Palace and Southampton to beat Leicester. Brad and me have completely disagreed with him on those. Steve thinks Watford under Ranieri will get a draw against Chelsea. Me and Brad have again gone for the win. West Ham will beat Brighton, says Steve and Brad. None of us could agree on Wolves versus Burnley, so that's going to be interesting. Man City, although Steve does think Villa might get something from there. And Brad, some reason's gone for an Everton win in the Merseyside derby against Liverpool. That's the brave decision. That would have been had I got it loaded up, you cannot be serious. But I hadn't got it loaded up. And then Spurs, Brentford, we couldn't agree, and Man United, who really cares who wins that, to be honest with you, at the end of the day. But there we go. All right, guys, thank you so much. Steve, as always, a pleasure, mate. And we'll see you again on Thursday at the same time as there's 2 games this week. So appreciate it as always. I know you came straight on here from work, so I'll let you go and have something to eat and another coffee. And thanks for coming on. See you on Thursday.
See you on Thursday.
Thanks, Steve. Bye-bye.
See you, Bradley.
Oh, yeah, nice one.
I'm going on that one.
Oh, well, you're officially Bradley now.
No, I'm not. I won't respond to it. No.
Really?
No, I don't. I really don't like my. I don't mind the jokes. I take them on the chin, but I will not respond to Bradley. No, it's not my name. I was taught that. That's not my name. You don't respond to that.
Is that not? Yeah, because for me, like Christopher was my Sunday name. If I was getting told off by my wife and my missus, Christopher, I knew I'd done something wrong.
Unfortunately, mate, my mum made sure my birth certificate couldn't be cut down to a Sunday name, so I can hear my mum screaming in anger that someone said the word Bradley towards me. That's how sensitive it is. I'm fine with the jokes and I'm happy to go with it, but I just do not start calling me Bradley on the string properly, because that will not get a response. It's just programmed into me, mate.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if I was in trouble as a child that way, though.
No, you couldn't. No, that's true. But I don't know what to call you when you've got that as your name on the screen. So that's
a pain in the arse. No.
I'll let you go, mate, because I know you got another show coming up. Thanks as always. I will see you Thursday. I'm with you twice on Thursday.
I know, right? Can't get enough of it.
This is true. This is true. Bromance, mate. Bromance. Take care. Stay safe. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Yeah, and you, mate, and take care of everybody else.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Thanks to Brad there. Brad. Okay. Bradley, really. Bradley. Everybody call him Bradley in the chat. Hey, but that's it. This is what is coming up next. We've got rather a lot coming up next, if I'm honest with you. Well, if you got sloppy seconds, tomorrow I think I'm having terrible thirds. I've got 3 shows tomorrow. We start a bit earlier. We start at 5:30 with the opposition view. We're getting a Watford fan on. He couldn't make it tonight, unfortunately, at the last minute. So we've rearranged 5:30 tomorrow. It is the opposition view. 7 o'clock tomorrow, Craig's joining me for the Southampton preview, and at 9 o'clock we're going to be talking all things football with ex-player Julian Watts, ex on the pitch. 5:37 and 9, and we're going to be talking with Julian a couple of things. Booing players. Is there ever an acceptable time when you can boo players? Leicester players got booed and they've suddenly put in 2 good performances, or is that just luck? And also then, like I said before, what does the current situation say about Man United? There should be managers should want to go. They're in the top 5 biggest clubs in the world. Them and Real Madrid, Barcelona, they're going to be top 3. And probably Liverpool. And managers should want to go there. They should, bloody hell, it's the Man United job. I'm going, and they're not. They're having to sack a manager who had got them to a European final and only lost on penalties. But, well, that's not good enough for the fans. They then have to get the same team that only got them that far into second and what have you. The assistant manager, they make him a manager in the short term. Okay. Then they get an interim manager. Interim? This is Manchester United, and they're getting interim managers in. They should be looking and saying, this is the manager we want. They should be going and getting him and sod it. But maybe that's how far Man United have fallen. I don't know. We'll talk and see what Steve says about that tomorrow. So that's going to be at 9 o'clock. So have the Glaziers taken Man United down further than they've ever been? Join me tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thanks to Steve for popping on. As always, it's great to see what an ex-professional has to say about these matches. Thanks to Brad, a.k.a. Bradley, for joining us as well. We've got it 3 times this week. And thanks to you guys, everybody that joined in with the chat. We'll see you tomorrow at 7. Stay safe.
Ho, 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 ho. Thank you for watching. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hello, Matt Elliott here.
Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Be sure to watch
Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV
for all the latest Leicester City news and information.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels
for the latest updates and news on Leicester City.
Come on, you foxes!